Good morning, friends. Now we are going to see about 9 strange literary genres you never heard of. The first one is sci-fi or climate fiction is the kind of literature that deals with global warming and climate change. These works often take place or set in the world that we live in or in the near future. The term sci-fi was first used on April 20, 2013 during a radio segment that talked about the effects of human-induced climate change. Next one is bizarre fiction. A contemporary literary genre, bizarre fiction implies elements of absurdism, satire, and the grotesque along with pop surrealism and genre fiction staples. This is done to create subversive works that are as strange and engaging as possible. Next, flash fiction. This flash fiction medium of brief and enclosed stories. Its average word count ranges anywhere from 5 to 1500 words. These is also known by other names like short stories, nano tales, micro stories, postcard fiction, or napkin fiction. Next one is poetry, also known as palm poetry. Poetry is a poetic verse that is composed mainly of the subject lines or body of the spam email messages. Technically, poetry is not a literary form but rather a means of creating poetry. Next one, cashier memoir. This cashier memoir explores the frustration, problems, and sometimes verbal abuse that most cashiers deal with daily. One of the best cashier memoirs, including Checkout by Anna Sam and Memoirs of a Cashier, Korean Americans Racism and Riots by Carol Park. Then steampunk. Steampunk is a subgenre of science fiction that incorporates retrofuturistic technology and aesthetics inspired by 19th century industrial steam-powered machinery. Steampunk works were often set in an alternative history of the Western Victorian era or the American Wild West, where steam power remains in mainstream use, or a fantasy world that similarly employs steam power. That is steampunk. Next one, Canadiana, sometimes known as Canadian Canlit or Canadiana, is exactly what you would expect it to be. Canadian literature, the subgenre is similar to Americana fiction, but with stories centered around Canada. The literature has been strongly influenced by international migration with themes of the works surrounding ethnic minorities, identity, duality, and cultural differences. Next one, fake memoir. These fake memoirs are exactly what they sound like. Fake memoirs can either be written and published as false to begin with, or they can be exposed as partially or wholly false. A famous example of an exposed fake false memoirs is James Fryer's A Million Little Pieces. A Million Little Pieces is the best example for fake memoir. The next one, Furry Sleuth. The Furry Sleuth mysteries feature a cat or a dog as a principal investigator. Very rarely is the protagonist a bird or reptile. They took place in smaller communities with a similar cast of characters. Furry Sleuth novels have some of the best titles, including The Fast and the Furious and Claws for the Concern. Okay, friends, thanks for reading this. And next I will update the memorial quotes from Uncle Tom's Cabin, Harriet Beecher Stowe. Bye, friends. See you in the next video.